Hi guys, JP from FSiPanel. On that video we will fly the RNP Delta runway 22 right in Nice. A very nice approach with some prescribed track at the end. So this is what I have set up for you on the Fenix A320. I have created a waypoint which is 8 miles south of position Sotox. You will be on the radial 167 at 5,000 feet. So basically right there. And you will have to fly northbound toward Sotox, Nanax, and then fly via Fox November 22 Delta, which is our final approach fix, to our missed approach point, which is Mike November 22 Delta, and from there either execute a missed approach if you don't have the runway in sight, going back to Neras at 3,000 feet, or then do the prescribed flight track. Those are the flight track I'm showing you right now. So you can see on your screen now from the missed approach point, 1,260 feet is our mandatory altitude right there. And if we can continue the approach, then very straightforward. We will just go on the track 303 at 1,000 feet and we will line up on the runway 22 right along the Promenade des Anglais here on the coastline. And should we go around there, it says climb straight ahead 3,000 feet, expect a left turn on ATC clearance. So basically not a big deal, as you can see. So here, this is the part that is giving some of you some issues. So today I will try to demonstrate how to fly this approach on the Airbus. And for that, I have created a quick scenario, so you will be able to drag and drop it in your FSiPanel Advanced Edition, and you'll be flying the approach within a minute. So let me show you the correct procedure to do that. Here we are in the Airbus A320 on runway 22 right, engines running in Nice. You can set the weather that you like. Just make sure that the weather is compatible with runway 22 right. Do not take any weather with 20 knots tailwind. The limit is 10 knots tailwind, so make sure you adapt the weather so that you can fly a realistic RNP 22 right in Nice. All right, I haven't set anything, as you can see. So what you have to do is, once the aircraft is just like this, ready to be flown, engines running, just start FSiPanel. And then take the zip file that you find in the description below, where you have that scenario file called .fsc. Take that scenario file and drag and drop it over FSiPanel. When you do that, you will get 3 options: cancel, start scenario, instructions. So if you click on instructions, then you will get a quick instruction on how to fly that training scenario. So these instructions are very summary, very short, as the idea is just to fly the approach. So as you can see, it's RNP Delta 22 right. This is just to remind you that you have your engines running on the threshold 22 right. And then basically the rest is exactly what you're seeing now in that video. So I will not take too much time on that lesson plan. So let's continue with the next option on your screen, which is to fly the scenario. So just click on Start Scenario. Now you'll get the window that FSiPanel is setting your aircraft. So the first thing you will see there is the altitude will change to 5,000 feet. And right now, FSiPanel is setting as well your payload. So that will take around 20 to 30 seconds. As you can see now, altitude is set to 5,000 feet, and we get the message to move thrust levers to climb detent. So let's do that now. Once we're in climb detent, the aircraft goes in the air. Do not touch anything, as always. Just wait for FSiPanel to do its job. If you have alarm, just like now, altitude alert, don't worry about it. FSiPanel will clear up everything for you. All right, as you can see, we are approaching 5,000 feet. That looks nice. We still have a master caution because the MCDU is not set yet. Once we reach 5,000 feet, FSiPanel will start setting the MCDU for that approach. So we'll see that now in real time. 5,000 feet, as you can see on the PFD. So then FSiPanel will be able to start programming your MCDU. Here we go. So here it's a simple setup, Nice to Nice. We will set the FSI 001 as the call sign. The cruise altitude is 5,000 feet. The arrival is the AirNav via SOTOM. And then the weather, you will have to set it by yourself. I will show you that in a minute. And it will set as well Azure as the VOR, and it will activate the approach so that you can fly in managed speed. Once all is done, as you saw, it didn't take a long time. Then we are ready to fly. We have SOTOX in front of us. We are still in position freeze, so the aircraft will remain within 8 miles from SOTOX. As you can see, we are moving forward, but FSiPanel will bring the aircraft again to 9 miles every 10 seconds. So you have time now to check up that everything is correct. So if we look into our FMC, in MCDU, I'm sorry about that, we have the arrival, SOTOX to Nanax to Fox November 22 Delta with the restrictions, speed, altitude restrictions, everything is there. If we go to the perf page, this is what we have to set now. And for that, we need to set up the weather information. So let's grab the ATIS and see if we can get weather here. Okay, so today when I'm flying, my QNH is 1012. Make sure you put your own data there. The temperature is 24 degrees and the wind is coming from 100 at 12 knots. That's the only thing I need to set, and then my aircraft is basically ready for the approach. Let's do a quick briefing before we take control, so I will move that out of the way and we will have a quick brief on how to fly this approach. Okay, this is the chart that we will fly today, the RNP Delta runway 22 right in Nice. As you can see, it's AirNav approach. The final approach course after the missed approach point, we will see it later on the chart 12.6 Bravo. We have a mandatory altitude 3,000 feet at Fox November 22 Delta. Right there, final approach fix where we will start a 3 degrees descent toward our MDA of 1260 already set in your MCDU. Airport elevation is 12 feet, so that's nice. And we have terrain just north of the airport. So this is why we have to turn left immediately should we be in IMC at the minimum. So make sure you comply, with the left turn here in case of missed approach. So at the missed approach, we turn left, maximum speed 185 knots to Mike November 412. Then we continue to Mike November 404, 414, and finally to Neras to join the holding pattern at 3,000 feet. So 3,000 feet will be our missed approach altitude. And joining Neras with that kind of heading 033, we can expect a teardrop entry into the holding. Great, so this is the initial part of our approach. Let's have a look at the second part. Here you can see your minimum 1260. We need 5 kilometers of visibility, so make sure you have that as well. And we will have to cross-check our descent path from the final approach fix, so from Fox November 22 Delta all the way down to our MDA and our missed approach point. We're going to have the steps which are based on Mike November 22 Delta. So we are going to cross-check that. And we are going down to our minimum. It's a 3 degrees glide slope. However, the runway PAPI is a 3.5 degrees PAPI, so be careful on that. All right, then at Mike November 22 Delta, if we have the runway in sight, this is what we're gonna do. We are going to do the VPT, so visual maneuver with prescribed track, to join runway 22 right. So mandatory altitude at the missed approach point 1260. Then, as you can see, we have here a restricted area, 500 feet AGL down to the ground. This is for the helicopters departing Nice. So we will maintain 1,000 feet. We will go on track 303. So for that, it's nice to use track mode in the Airbus 303. And then we turn along the Promenade des Anglais here to join runway 22 right. It's a 3.5 degrees PAPI, so be careful with that. And then if we have to go around for any reason, bulk landing, as we are already on final. We just climb straight ahead up to 3,000 feet, and then we expect a left turn on ATC clearance. Right, so we briefed everything, so let's go in the cockpit, take control, and try to fly this approach. Alright, I'm back in the cockpit. I got the instruction scenarios ready. Hold your brake for 3 seconds, so that's what I will do just now. And once this is done, I will just acknowledge that message here, and you see FSI 001, clear RNP Delta 22 right, set weather data. This is done, acknowledge. Now we are flying, so let's go ahead. You can see top of descent, which is right there after SOTOX. If I go constraint, what we can see is our constraint. So we have to cross SOTOX between 3,000 and 6,000, so 5,000 feet is perfect. Then we have 200 knots or less at position NANAX, 3,000 feet or above. Then we have our mandatory 3,000 feet at Fox November 22 Delta and our minimum. So fine, we are going to start our descent just there. So we will preset 3,000 feet, which is a mandatory altitude. So let's set 3,000 feet already there. And we will push descent, reaching that top of descent here. All the rest is already done. We can see beautiful weather today for that kind of approach. So let's see how we can do that. We have auto brake low. And if you want to fly the same approach, just grab the file in the description down below. It's a zip file, and make sure your Airbus is in Nice on runway 22 right, engines are running, and do the exact same procedure. Drag and drop the scenario file over the FSiPanel main window. You need advanced edition for that, and then you will be exactly at that position that we are flying now. Then you can practice this approach. Here the difficult part is the visual turn to the other runway. So not to turn too early, not to turn too late, and as well the altitude on final. So that's the kind of things that can be a trap today. So we are approaching top of descent. Perfect. So I will give clearance to the aircraft to descend just about here, and remember to be conservative, so we don't have to fly fast. This is a non-precision approach, so we want to be fully stabilized by Fox November 22 Delta. So we will start right now giving clearance for the aircraft to descend, and I will go flaps 1. And as you can see, we are nicely on the profile. Perfect. Now that we are approaching NANAX, this is where we start the approach, initial approach fix. We will go approach mode. We have final approach. Let's go flaps 2. After NANAX, we turn to Fox November 22 Delta. And we will have the mandatory 3,000 feet right there. And then we have our 3 degrees descent to our missed approach point. So turning left, everything looks good. Let's go gear down. Arm the speed brake. Great, everything looks good. Now we'll go flaps 3. Flaps full. This is the step that we are going to fly down, so it will be on your screen. So make sure to check as well your step once we go over the final approach fix right now. 3,000 feet mandatory, that's good. We are fully configured, gear down, flaps full. And now we are starting our descent. So missed approach altitude is already set, 3,000 feet. And now we are going to check the distance from the Mike November 22 Delta. So at 5 miles, as you can see, we should be at 2,690 feet. So let's see that. 5 miles, 2,690 feet, perfect. Let's continue with the next one, 4 miles, 2,370. So this is very important to check the steps, especially if you are in IMC, to make sure we are flying correctly. So check your step. When you become visual, it's less important, as you can see the runway and you can see everything in front of you, but it's always a good thing to do. So 4 miles, 2,370, perfect. Next step, 3 miles, 2,060. So we are waiting for 3 miles, 2,060. What we can do already is revert to a vertical speed to track FPA. So right now it will help us later on to fly a track 303 as per the VPT procedures. 3 miles, 2,060, exactly on spot. Next is 2 miles, 1,740. We can see clearly now the runway. This is the Promenade des Anglais where we want to fly. So let's get ready for that. 2 miles, 1,740. Looks like the Airbus, the Fenix, is flying that perfectly well. 2 miles, excellent. And remember that 1,000 feet is the minimum altitude after the missed approach point until you're on final, due to the restricted area as well. So let's see 1 mile, 1,420, and then I will fly manually. One mile altitude is good. We are approaching the missed approach point, so let's go track 303. I will take autopilot off, and let's turn off the flight directors. Minimum contact, continue. So we are going down now to 1,000 feet, and we continue on track 303. Missed approach altitude is set. Landing checklist, we have landing memo no blue. Reaching 1,000 feet, maintain the altitude now. You see with the FPV, with the birdie, it's quite easy to maintain the altitude. And now we're gonna have to make the left turn toward the runway. So do not turn too early, do not turn too late. Here you can see the runway on the navigation display. The runway is here to the left. So what we're gonna do is just before the coast, we will start our left turn. And remember, it's a 3.5 degrees glide path. So this is why you can come a little bit higher than with a normal 3 degrees. Now it's a good time to start the left turn and to start descent. From there, we are going to monitor our PAPI, our speed, and our flight path. Now you can see the runway, so we are going for 22 right. That was a bit early, the turn, but no problem. We will continue the left turn, and we will line up on runway 22 right. Just have to be careful with the PAPI. Now we can see 2 and 2, so it looks good. So now in case of missed approach, we'll be straight ahead, 3,000 feet, expect left turn by ATC. Wind from the left, 9 knots, so not a big deal. Now we are getting ready for the landing. Two and 2. Slight crosswind to correct here.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Decel. Reversers. Green. And manual braking. We'll try to vacate the runway to the right. 70 knots out of reversers. And we will vacate to the right. All right, guys, that was how to fly the RNP 22 right with prescribed track in Nice using FSiPanel for positioning. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please feel free to put any comments, and if you didn't subscribe yet to the channel, please do it. That will help me do more and more video for you. Thank you guys, as always. Stay safe and see you next time for another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.